Welcome everyone to my Pillars of Eternity Let's Play. My name is Macsen. I can't believe this game is finally out. I'm recording this a few hours after its release on Steam. Now, many people have been using a review copy of the game to make Let's Plays in the last few days or so, but this is the full version with the new added changes that Obsidian have made last minute, so I'm really looking forward to playing this like crazy. I've been making character guides and backer beta Let's Plays on the channel for the last month or so. So yeah, this is going to be great. Now, in this first video, I'm going to concentrate on going into basic details of the game and character creation. The proper Let's Play will start in the next video, so if you're impatient, you may want to skip ahead by using the annotation here, but you may miss out on your detail or two. I guess you could come back and watch this later on, but I advise you to watch it. Right, first things first, before I start a new game, I'll quickly show you the options. Now, a lot of these are actually loaded into the game from the backer beta, which is really nice of Obsidian to do. I haven't changed many of these. I'm not going to go over this in too many details. Some of these I may change later on. I'm not exactly sure if the volume is great or not. You'll have to let me know. I don't think I've got too many pauses on in the combat. Hopefully not anyway. You do need to pause a lot in the combat. Definitely do. So some people may not be aware of that. That's something you're going to find out later on. It's pause with combat and you definitely need to pause a lot. Right, new game settings. Now you've got 4 choices, basic choices, and then you've got a couple of other choices as well. Now expert mode, I basically would call that 1999 mode. So this is turning your game into a more of a Infinity Engine game, that's how they used to be, without the helper features. I don't really like this at all. Those helper features are pretty nice. Now arguably it does make the game more difficult by turning this on, but yeah, I'm not willing to sacrifice those features to do that. Trial of Iron, that's another difficulty setting in effect. It's an Iron Man mode where you only get one save file, and if your player is killed, that's it. Now, picking that for my first game I think would be a terrible idea. Obsidian have got a bit of a reputation for having buggy games, so I think it's a bit unfair on them sometimes. Like the Fallout New Vegas wasn't a buggy, I think, as people made out. But yeah, I'm not going to turn that on. Definitely not for the first Let's Play, maybe in future ones. Now, recently I've been going back and forth on whether or not I should play Hard or Path of the Damned. In one of my character creation videos I actually said I was going to play Path of the Damned, but I've decided I think I should play Hard. Hard is hard, it really is. I think the start of the tutorial bit is going to be a bit easy from what I've heard, but later on in the game this should provide a good challenge. I would say I'm pretty good at combat. Obviously can get better since I haven't played the full game, but the backer beta I was dealing with that pretty easily. So yeah, I'm going to play Hard, and who knows, maybe I'll do a future Let's Play of Path of the Damned at some point. But for a blind Let's Play, yeah, Hard's probably the best thing to pick here. Now there's an intro that's shortly coming up, so I'm going to be quiet during that, and then we'll do character creation.
Five wagons grope blindly for the path on a starless night, their master glancing ever upward to the skies for assurance that he is on the right course. A dim lantern his only protection against the encroaching darkness. But the skies bring no comfort, shining no light, betraying no hint of what they know. The caravan carries travelers bound for the frontier hamlet of Gilded Vale, you among them, where a local lord has offered land and wealth to settlers from abroad looking for a fresh start. You have taken suddenly ill, sweating and shivering, and one of the other travelers signals for the caravan master to stop on your behalf. He pulls up just in time to avoid plowing into the trunk of a fallen tree that bars the way ahead. You will go no further tonight.
Okay, so this is character creation. Now I'm going to be creating a character here that is excellent at dialogue without sacrificing in any way on combat effectiveness. Now that's not something that's easily done, but I've been preparing this character that I'm going to be using for a while using the back of the beta. So first things first, let's pick our sex, doesn't really matter, and our race. I'm going to go into details a bit later on why I'm picking this race. I'm going to pick the Orlan and the Wild Orlan, and I'm going to pick the fighter. Now something that's important to mention is dialogue. Basically your player character is the only character within your party that really participates in dialogue, so having a character that is good at it for your player character is very important, and not all of the classes are actually well suited to being good in dialogue. There's a reason for that. That's because, I'll skip ahead a bit, some of the attributes are very much focused on being used in dialogue and some aren't. The bottom half here are used very frequently in dialogue. You can see in the description here it mentions dialogue a bit. If you pause the video and take a better look at that. The top three are mainly combat skills, so they are used in dialogue occasionally but not very often. Now as I mentioned, some classes just aren't that good for dialogue. The fighter is particularly good because you want to maximize certain stats that are very good when used for dialogue, perception and resolve. And I'm going to be maxing out those basically as much as possible. Now not only are those good in dialogue, they're also very good in giving your fighter extra defense in the case of deflection in this circumstance, and will. Deflection is the defense that is used in most conventional attacks, like being shot at or attacked with weapons or claws or whatever. You've got three other defenses: will, which is like psychic or magical attacks; reflex, so it's area of effect attacks; and fortitude, which is things like poison that's affected by. So with my character I'm going to be maxing out resolve and perception as much as possible, because those both give me extra deflection. And I'm actually going to skip ahead one stage as well and pick my culture, which is going to be Ixmital Plains. In this case I'm looking for a bonus to resolve, and there's actually two options here which give that. All of the cultures give a bonus to different attributes. There are 7 cultures and there's 1 duplicate. So Edir or Ixmital Plains, and I'm going to pick Ixmital Plains. You can see that the equipment you get is slightly different, and the Ixmital Plains is slightly better in my opinion. I prefer that equipment, at least the shield and the mace, but that's not really the main reason why I'm picking Ixmital Plains. It also changes the background you can have, and I intend to pick Dissident mainly for role-playing purposes, because I quite fancy being a Dissident. Also that gives me a bonus to Stealth and Lore. Our starting skills are Athletics, Law and Survival, but I'll talk more about skills later on. So back to, let's get those selected. Right, so that's on there. Let's keep on picking our attributes. So next thing I'm going to do is actually lower my dexterity. Now dexterity is used in action speed, so it's how quickly you attack and how quickly you recover from attacking. It's basically the frame rate in between attacks. So I'm actually going to lower that. The purpose of my fighter is to receive damage to take attacks, not to dish out the damage. I intend to use other companions within my party to do a lot of damage to opponents. This guy is basically just going to suck up a ton of punishment and be excellent in dialogue. So I don't need dexterity to do that. So let's keep on increasing perception. So we max out perception, max out resolve. We got the maximum pretty much deflection you can get. Now I'm also going to lower my might, because as I mentioned, this is more of a defensive character. He's not here to do damage. Now there is a drawback to this. Not only do I not do a lot of damage, I'm a bit weaker to fortitude attacks, and also our healing. Anytime we try to heal ourselves with this character, he'll have a negative to that. He actually starts with constant recovery, which will be affected slightly by having a low healing amount, but this, to be honest, this doesn't affect it that much at all. It takes off about a quarter of it. This recovers your endurance by about 3 endurance every second or few seconds, I think it works like. So instead of 3 per second or every few seconds, it will be about 2.25, something like that. So with my remaining points, I'm going to add these to Constitution. You can tell here that I'm min-maxing like crazy. You should probably call me min-max Macsen, maybe. Right, so yeah, and with the rest of my points, I'm going to add that to Intellect. Now, Intellect will increase the duration of our special abilities, our per encounter and per arrest abilities, and also if we have any area of effect things, that will also be increased as well. The fighter doesn't have many, to be honest, if any actually, but it has quite a few duration things like knockdown ability, which I've selected here. That will increase that to 50%. Is that 7.5? Well, it's increased to whatever it is. I don't think it's 7.5, but it'll certainly be longer. Knockdown's a very good skill actually, or per encounter ability. 25% duration, so that's 1.25 actually. So the reason why I'm picking Wild Orlan, well, the Orlan gives you bonuses to Resolve and Perception, both of which I need if I want to increase those stats and get more defense, and it gives a negative amount to Might, which I don't need as well, so that's brilliant. And we've got an option between a Wild Orlan and a Half Orlan, and the reason why I've gone for a Wild Orlan is because that gives us extra defense to will attacks. The other one is mainly used for more offensive types of characters. I should probably mention a bit about the fighters' stats as well. So they're actually very, very good, the fighter stats. They have the highest deflection in the game. That's one reason why they're so excellent at being frontline defensive characters. They have excellent accuracy, which isn't going to come in so handy with this type of build. You could build a more offensive fighter, definitely. I'll probably be making a character creation video for that at some point. And health and endurance, they can take an absolute beating because they have really high health and endurance, which you definitely need if you're going to have a character on the front line. So, right, I think I've pretty much done everything apart from the cosmetics now. So, facial hair. I don't think he's got a big enough beard, so let's add an even better one. Let's pick number 11. You can actually change the colors within the game, so I'll do that later. And the portrait I'm going to pick is this one here, really hairy one. And the voice.
I've got this.
I think that's pretty good for him.
My eyes are peeled.
And his name, I'm going to call him Luog Bach. And that's my player character, so we're going to be seeing a lot of him in the future. Right, at this point I think I'm going to call it for this first video. So at the start of the next video we'll actually start our journey and start things proper. Right, so I hope you enjoyed this first video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.